Hi, I'm Pete Rohrbaugh, one of the hosts of Hybrid Pedagogy's MOOC this week, and I've decided to make my Learning Happens video in front of Woodruff Park in Atlanta. Behind me is Woodruff Park, a public park in the middle of downtown Atlanta, which is kind of nestled in the middle of also Georgia State University's campus where I teach. And students have to go back and forth across the park throughout the day to get to different classroom buildings. Um, Woodruff Park was also the site of last year's Occupy Atlanta main activism push, and people from Occupy Atlanta occupied this park for about 6 weeks in October and November before Mayor Kasim Reed shut down the occupation and arrested 50 occupiers. It's since been kind of like the staging ground for a lot of activism work here in the city since then. So I chose this as my place of learning because Occupy Atlanta taught me a bunch about democracy. It gave me an antidote to the kind of apathy and cynicism that I felt like had really crept into politics in the country and politics for me in general. And while I wasn't sympathetic to all of the goals of the occupation or the activism that orbited around it, I still felt like it was a really huge learning moment for me. It taught me how to use Twitter in a kind of live organizational way to find out what was happening before major news outlets would report it. And following from my engagement with the Occupy movement in the fall, I themed my electronic writing and publishing class in the spring around the local Occupy movement. We turned the class basically into an amateur journalism outfit and published a weekly dynamic online news site for the local Occupy movement where we interviewed people from the movement. We published opinions about the movement, and you can see all of that work on occupyclass.org. Finally, this park is the site of homelessness. It's a class distinction site. Georgia State students have to interact with the real city instead of the bubble city. So I think it's an important component of the urban landscape here. It's a place that's taught me a lot, and I look forward to seeing all of your demonstrations of learning spaces on the MOOC today. Thanks.